Welcome to the Real Female Entrepreneurs. From confidence, visibility, and global recognition, our next guest knows exactly how to make it happen. She's an award winning coach, international speaker, and podcasting powerhouse. From battling depression to building her rock star personal brand, she's turned challenges into triumphs and now helps entrepreneurs just like you do the same. Creator of the Rookie to Rockstar Roadmap, I think we all need that one. She empowers leaders to own their voice, gain worldwide exposure, and become industry icons. Let's welcome the amazing Joyan Chan. Welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy and excited to be here, Angel. Thank you so much for doing this and having me on the show.
Yeah, I'm excited to have you. You are a podcast like superstar. Like if we were going to say superstar, it's you for podcasting.
Yeah, I mean, happily, yeah, own that. I own it. Yes.
What exactly? Something had to happen in your life for you to become the powerhouse podcaster you are. Do you mind explaining? Because something happens to somebody that gives that transition.
Yeah. And I really love this question because personally, I have not asked myself this question, like, where did it all start? Of course, the story of me going through depression, that was the beginning of my journey. But I really ask myself these questions: when did I decide, or when did I become an entrepreneur? And if there was a defining moment, I have to say it was when I attended a 2.5 day, you know, course program workshop, and it's called on lifestyle entrepreneur. All right, led by two very successful young entrepreneurs in the country at the time that I was attending and that I was learning from. And I remember I paid $500 for the course. And they taught us how to start an e-commerce business with no money down. Basically, they taught us how to start an online business. And that weekend, I was hooked. I was hooked. Because at the time I was still working a regular job, but I was also a partner of the company that I was working for. Although I was a partner, but also getting monthly paycheck. So I was there more like an employee instead of like a business owner, entrepreneur. But this course really opened out my eyes to a whole different world. The world of online business, the world of marketing, the world of entrepreneurship. And we're talking about 2019, about 6 years ago. And it was like before online business was even a thing, right? Before coaching was even a thing, before podcasting was even a thing. And that weekend, I said, I saw what was possible. I saw what other people are doing, what was on the other side, right? And how to make money, despite, just not just the traditional way. And by the end of the course, I remember they upsold us to another course, to the next course called Business Mastery. And I paid another 2,500 for that course. Just 2 days, I remember. 2,500, 2,500. And looking back now, I would say, that was truly the beginning of my entrepreneurship journey. However, I didn't quit my job and start the business right away. I remember going back to work on Monday morning, and I feeling like a completely different person, with all the wisdom, all the knowledge, all the things that I learned. And at the time, I had two other business partners in the company, and I was in my 20s, and one is in his 30s, and the other one in his 60s. They are all older than me. So can you imagine? I'm in my 20s, and I have all these ideas. I get so excited about everything that I learned. I want to share with them, only to get my ideas all rejected. So that was the moment, I would say. There was a moment I realized maybe this is not the right place for me. This company, this business, and I had to do this myself. I had to start a business myself.
So, what got you into podcasting? I know you probably took some other steps before directly going into podcasting.
Yeah, why I started podcasting, it was for a personal reason, because I was going through depression, and I didn't know what to do anymore. I didn't know who I am as a person. I don't know what's my purpose and all that. I was losing my joy, which is why today the podcast is called Find Joy with Joyanne, because I wanted to find joy again in my life. And I didn't know there was a joy in my name, ironically, until a friend pointed it out. Do you even know there's a joy in your name? And why are you not joyful? Why are you not happy? Why are you depressed? So all this while, it was my purpose to find joy, and I didn't know, right? I didn't know. So when I was going through depression, when I decided that this is not my life, this is not who I am, right? I'm done. Enough is enough. I wanted to share my story. I want to tell the truth. I want to be real, be authentic for the first time. So I was a nobody. I just started a Facebook page and Instagram page, and I just started going live and talking about my story of depression, sharing how I really felt and all that. It was COVID-19, right? We were all stuck at home. That was the only thing that I could do while I was stuck at home, because I couldn't face myself. I couldn't live with myself during that period of time. So eventually that led me down the path of coaching and podcasting. I just wanted a platform for me to share my story. So I started off with solo episodes. Then eventually I realized I wanted to talk to people, because I had so many questions, and I needed answers. So I realized the only way to get answers to all my questions about life, about everything, right, is to talk to people who already have the answer. So I just decided, okay, I'm gonna interview people and ask them all the questions. Like, what is the can you imagine, you can invite people, like people that you admire, your role models, like successful people, right? You can invite them, sit down and have a conversation with them, ask them all the questions, and they will answer. They won't ask you to pay. Like, that's the best thing, right? So that's how actually I started the podcast. That was I call it my happiness project.
Oh, I like that. The happiness project. That
Yeah.
is really cool. It's really
Yeah.
cool. And to spread the joy that's already in your name anyway. So,
Yeah, thank you. I've been podcasting for 4 years, and I'm never gonna stop. Like, yeah, not gonna stop, never.
so what advice do you have for women who are wanting to grow their own business right now and they're maybe stifled a little bit?
Mm. Yeah, we all been there, done that, right? We all have been there. So I would say learn from successful people, learn from successful business owners, entrepreneurs in the industry, in your field. Learn from people who are already where you want to be, who are already doing what you want to do, because success leaves clues, right? And I'm sure you know as well, as a successful entrepreneur, success leaves clues. So don't try to figure it out on your own, because you won't. You won't. And I would say don't even try. Just start. Just start. Do something, right? Because we all can sit. You can sit there, procrastinate, doubt yourself, waiting for the perfect moment. And I'm sorry to tell you, it will never. The perfect moment that you're waiting for will never come. Will never come. You will never feel completely ready. Never ever. Success won't happen overnight. Your success won't happen overnight. So you just have to start, right? Start where you are. Use what you have, and do what you can do right now. Because in 6 months, if you start today, when you start today, in 6 months, you can either have 6 months of progress or 6 months of excuses if you don't start today. And the choice is yours. I would say the better you start, the sooner you begin, the better, because entrepreneurship, to be honest, is not for everyone, right? So the only way to find out whether this is the right path for you is to be in the game. Put yourself into the game. Don't just sit on the sidelines and watching and waiting. Just put yourself in the game, and you will find out whether this is the right path for you.
And it might not be the right exact
Yeah.
area. I mean, you can go out and start one thing, but maybe that's not your calling, but you had to do that one thing to be able to move to the next level.
Yeah. So true. We all have to pivot in business, in business, right? We all have to pivot. You will never figure out, like I said, so you'll never figure out everything right from the start. I pivoted, I changed my niche, I think more than 3 times. you know, so it's a journey. I change my niche again? I don't know. Maybe yes, maybe no, right? I wouldn't know. So just have to start and put yourself in the game.
So, knowing what you know now, can we go back to your 18-year-old self? What would you tell her?
I know maybe this is not the answer that you're looking for, but I wouldn't tell my 18-year-old anything. I wouldn't give my 18-year-old any advice, because I would ask her for advice instead. Why? Because she was a badass. I mean, 18-year-old me was a badass. Like, I was a dreamer. She was a dreamer, a big dreamer. She was unstoppable. She wasn't afraid of anything. Like nothing. She wasn't afraid of anything. Nothing could stop her. She made it all happen on her own, and I'm really proud of myself, the 18-year-old self. So yes, today I'm still fearless in many ways, in some ways, but I'm not sure whether this is true for you. As I have come to realize that as I've gotten older, my fears have grown too. I worry a bit more, a lot more, and I have more fears, than before. So I constantly remind myself to dream again, to dream big, to do the very things that scare me the most, right? Like, for example, if I'm actually afraid of heights. I'm afraid of heights. So I go hiking, I go parasailing, right? I do the things that scare me the most. Because I want to remember who I once was, the 18-year-old me, right? Because I know she's still in me. So I wish I could talk to my 18-year-old self and get some advice from her, because I seriously need some coaching, I guess, from her.
Yeah, that was really good. I would probably go back to my 18-year-old self too and say, "Hey, kick myself in the butt now."
Yeah, yeah, right? Because what were you doing when you were 18 years old? Do you remember?
I was doing, I was getting ready to graduate high school and trying to decide if I'm going to go college, if I'm going to go through an independent career, what I was going to do. That's where I was at 18. And I mean, we had some family dynamics in there that prevented some things because my dad got sick. But beyond that, yeah, go
What
ahead.
did you want to be when you were 18? Like, what was your dream?
I didn't know what I wanted to be. That was the problem. I did not know what I wanted to be. I wanted to be a teacher, but not a regular teacher. I wanted to be something unique.
So you're
And
doing something unique today,
yeah,
right? You have a
yeah,
magazine. That's really unique. Super unique.
yeah,
18-year-old
yeah,
self must be very proud of you. Yeah.
yeah. And I mean, have I been editor of magazines before in high school and grammar school, or worked on some of them? Yeah. So those were like things I loved doing. Yeah. What about you? What did you want to be at 18?
I actually wanted to be a fashion designer, and I did. I did. Which is why I said she was a badass, she was a dreamer, because I wanted to become a fashion designer, and I pursued my dream. I went to college, and I now have a very expensive piece of paper that says I can draw and design. Yeah, so yeah, that was me.
Yeah. Yeah, I loved that aspect of it, and that was something I wanted to do as well, because every dress I wore was
Yeah,
I designed.
really?
All through high school. I mean, matter of fact, we were laughing at we probably had like 4 or 5 dances every year, and I designed every one of them, and my mom made it. I would go and I designed it out, and then I would give it to her and say, "Okay, this is what I want."
Huh, wow, you have a talent.
Yeah, so I love doing because I believe everything you wear is a costume. And I was a dancer, so I believe it was all just a costume.
I see. Now it explains. That explains. We have a similar background. Now I love that.
Yeah. All right. I need to know a strategy that you've used to build maybe your podcast, your podcasting business where you teach others, your rookie to rockstar business. What is a key strategy that you use to actually grow your business?
Yeah. Partly is we say that the answer is obvious. Is what we are doing now. Collaborations for scaling and podcasting for growing my business. Because I make sure that I connect with other successful entrepreneurs like yourself, right? Other experts, movers and shakers in the industry through my podcast, because I have a podcast, so I talk to them, I connect with them, I collaborate. And also, by being a guest on other people's podcasts, like what I'm doing now. So, and here's the thing about being an entrepreneur, every time I talk to someone new or old, I always come up with new ideas, right? How we can work together, how we can collaborate, or maybe even record a podcast together or start a podcast together, I always have something that I want to do with that person, like collaboration. So, I constantly look for opportunities and peoples and ways that we can create win-wins opportunities for both our businesses and also, if they don't have a business, but, for the people that I encounter. So I would say this is my key strategy for how I get clients and grow my business is through collaboration and podcasting.
Great tip. Love that tip. All right. So, and that's one reason you teach podcasting, because guess what? It works. It works. If you're going to build your business, podcasting is the key.
Yeah. Trust me, I tried so many other marketing strategies, but stick to podcasting because you just need one strategy that works and stick to it.
What about balance? How do you balance your personal life with your career and what you do?
I don't. Do I have a balance? I mean, I don't really have work-life balance, if that's what you mean. But because being an entrepreneur, you don't have a 9-to-5 job. You have a 24/7 job, and sometimes I question myself, why did I quit my 9-to-5 to work 24/7? It's crazy. So it means I'm my own boss, right? I'm in charge of my calendar. I'm in charge of my time, my schedule, which is amazing. It gives me the freedom to go to the gym on a Tuesday afternoon when it's empty. It gives me the freedom to have lunch with my parents when it's Monday afternoon, right? I get to have lunch with them. And also it happens before, like I have to drop everything and take my dad to the hospital when he fell and injured his head. I had to take him to the hospital right away, and because I can't, right? And my other siblings, they couldn't because they had a job, because I can't, and I'm grateful for that. But I would say it's being an entrepreneur, being flexible, having your own freedom is a double-edged sword, right? I don't have weekends. Like now, actually, I'm recording this. It's my Saturday night at 11. Like I don't have life. I don't have weekends, right? So I work on weekends. I podcast on weekends. Some days I have to wake up early and stay out late, like I'm doing today. And that's why entrepreneurship is not for everyone. It's really not for everyone, right? Not everyone is built for it. It's not something that you learned. It's about who you are as a person. It's who you become. It's all about your mindset and identity as an entrepreneur.
Yep. And you know what? That is so true. We call it the ebb and flow. It gives us the freedom to work longer hours. And, we joke sometimes we work 80 hours to avoid going to a job for 40.
Yeah. But the thing is, you are working for something that you're truly passionate about. That's yours, your own thing. And that hits different.
And I find most of us, we have more than one thing, because that is what we love. We love building something new. We love those opportunities. So can you share any future plans that you have or goals that we should keep an eye out for you, Joyan?
Yeah, I do have a really exciting new project coming up. I'm starting another podcast with a friend though, about dreams. You hear me talk about dreams throughout this conversation. I'm all about dreams and all that. So yeah, we are starting a podcast about dreams, and we will have people come on the show and share about their dreams, their obstacles they are facing, and get ideas from me and my friend, and also from the listeners who will be listening. So this is going to be really cool and really exciting. And so if anyone who is listening on, right now, if you have a dream to share with the world and you want to get some ideas, you can apply to be on the show. But we have not yet launched. That's my next shiny object.
Do you know the name of the podcast show that it's going to be called?
We're still brainstorming. I came up with some ideas. So I'm not gonna reveal it now. Yeah, so stay tuned.
Well, stay tuned for it. We can't wait. All right. So if you had a superpower for just 24 hours, one day, what would it be?
Become invisible.
Invisible. Yeah.
Yes.
You can go anywhere and look around.
Please don't tell me what I'm gonna do. No, I'm just kidding. But I just like people watch. I like to sit in a cafe and just look at people, and I get a lot of joy from doing that. I'm like, I don't know why. So I realize if I'm invisible, then people won't feel awkward if I'm looking at them or staring at them, right, all the time. So
Well, I do too. I love people watching for the simple reason that it helps you communicate with people.
I never thought of that. Why? Why? What makes you say that?
So I'm a personality guru. So
Wow.
I can look at people and determine their personality and watch how they maneuver things and watch their conversation with other people. And
Yeah.
so it makes me look at it and say, okay, if I was going to communicate with that person, what would be my best way to communicate with them?
You're gonna teach me some tricks and strategies.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Wow. Yeah. Like it tells you a lot about the person, right?
Mhm.
The way they move, the way they portray themselves. Yeah. I
Yeah,
love that.
a lot. So, okay, what's one fun fact about you that not a lot of people know about?
Ah, too bad I already shared that earlier, which is I have a fashion design degree. Not many people know about that because people know me as a podcaster today as a coach. So yeah.
I've been known to tabletop dance. So, there you go.
What?
For fun, just because somebody said I dare you and it's like, okay.
Wow. Wow, you are cool. You are so cool.
Oh, I think that was my 18-year-old self.
Okay. Do you still do that today?
No. That was like, I dare you to jump up there and dance or do something. So, yeah. All right. All
Yeah.
right. What about a favorite book?
My favorite book. Um Law of Attraction by Esther and Jerry Hicks. I wouldn't say my favorite book, but it's the book that kind of changed my life. Yeah.
That works. I love changed lives books. Those work. All right. What about a favorite song that gets you moving and grooving?
Well, it has to be Badass Woman by Megan Trainor. I love that song. It's a song that I play every time before I go on a podcast, before I do a webinar. Yeah, that's my song.
That's funny. All right. Your favorite quote?
I have a lot. I have many, but I'm gonna say for this podcast, I mean for female for audience of Female Entrepreneurs Magazine, the favorite quote is success is not final, failure is not fatal. It's the courage to continue that counts.
Ooh, that is a really good one. All right. How do you stay motivated?
I don't stay motivated. I'm not motivated all the time because if you are waiting for motivation to strike, you will be waiting forever. So I don't wait for motivation to strike. I just take action. I just do. I just go whether I feel like it or not. And when you move, when you do things, when you take action, motivation follows, right? It's not the other way around. It's action first, then motivation follows. And I would say fitness plays a big part in my life, in my daily life. I work out every morning, and so does podcasting. Every morning I work out, and when I'm having lunch or go for a walk, I will listen to a podcast like this one that inspires me and teaches me something, right? Whether it's personal growth or a business strategy, an idea or relationship advice. I make sure I'm constantly learning and improving and growing because we really don't need motivation to start something, to do something. What you need is momentum, right? And growth is a daily habit. It's not something that happens by chance. It's not something that happens whenever you attend a webinar, for example, a seminar.
So, what's your favorite type of exercise since you mentioned it?
Exercise, I do yoga, and because I've been doing yoga for many years, and I kind of become too comfortable with it, and I feel like I'm not when I realize I'm becoming too comfortable with something. I want to change, right? I want to change. I want to try new things. So recently I picked up boxing, which is so different from yoga, but I love it. It helps me with my focus and concentration because I have to like kind of memorize all the move, all the sequence. So yeah, that's my new favorite sport.
Yeah, boxing has come up a lot this week.
Right?
So that is fun. So yeah, so I even like looked into it. I'm like, why can I learn boxing more?
Yeah, I mean, try it. Try it. You never know whether you like it or not.
I learned it when I was in 7th grade. So because I was bullied. So my dad taught me how to, but I really sort of sucked at it. So I'm glad I never had to use it.
No, I'm sure you didn't suck at it, right? You just didn't practice enough.
We'll see. All right. What's the best way for our audience to stay connected with you?
I'm everywhere on social media. You can find me everywhere. But I would say the best way is Instagram. I am always on Instagram. My handle is joyan.chan, joyn.chan.
Great. And is there anything else you want to add to what we've talked about today or give some inspiration that we didn't talk about yet?
Yeah, I think the really important one that I would love to share with fellow female entrepreneurs is to build your personal brand. You know, especially if you're a coach, service provider, consultant, entrepreneur, because your business can only grow as much as your personal brand allows you, because you are the product. You are selling you, you know.
Mhm.
Let's be honest, there are countless people in your industry offering the same products, services as you. So why would someone choose you? What sets you apart? What makes you different? Why would I pick you, hire you over someone else, right? The answer is simple, because your personal brand, you have a personal brand, it's who you are, and I know you, I like you, and I trust you, I want to work with you. So focus on building your personal brand, where especially when you are just getting started, build a personal brand. When you have a strong personal brand, people take notice, people come to you instead of you going to them. The best part, they are willing to pay more, right? You can charge higher prices, premium prices. And the question is, how do you build a personal brand? It's the question that people ask me all the time. I would say the good news, and anyone can do it, is rocket science, right? The secret, the shortcut, the most powerful way to build your personal brand today in 2025 is to start a podcast.
Start a podcast, and you have a course on that. Am I right?
Oh, yes, yes.
And how do they go and take advantage of your course? How do they get more information on that?
Well, if they want more information about the course, actually it's a 30-day podcast launch bootcamp. So I help you make, market, and monetize your podcast in 30 days. And if they want to find out more information, they can just DM me the word podcast, and I will. They can download my freebie. You know, they can download my free ebook. I lay out all the steps, the step by step of how to launch a podcast, how to make, market, and monetize a podcast. So if you just follow the steps, you can launch a podcast in 30 days, right? If you want to do it yourself. But if you want to do it with me, if you want my guidance, my coaching, and for me to look at your podcast and brainstorm ideas together, then that's my coaching services, the bootcamp that I offer. Otherwise, you can just download the free ebook. Again, just send me a DM. It's easier. Or I can send you the link later. You can put in the description below. You can just go and download the free ebook.
Awesome. Thank you, Joanne. You're amazing. Mwah. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
being on.
Thank you. Thank you so much. You're amazing too. I love everything that you're doing, and I would love to have you on my podcast as well. Let's do it.
100%. Let's do it. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.